Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, Is There Such Thing as Mind Over Matter? See, we hear a lot the terms of mind over matter. If I can control my mind or the mind, then the matter changes and everything. Okay, well, let's explore this from a different angle to see if that is true. When you're sleeping and you're dreaming, and in the dream there is a character that appears as matter, but is actually a thought, and the dream itself is also part of the thought, well, it appears that the character in the dream says, my mind can change the matter, mind over matter. But the character in the dream is a thought. Therefore, it's not mind over matter, it's thought over thoughts. You see? Now, if the character in the dream were to have the mind, or whatever the case may be, that he can say or she can say, I can change my mind or my thoughts in order for the world of appearances, the called matter, which is another thought in the dream, but if he could say, I could change my thoughts so that I can change the dream, you see, there's one little detail that is forgotten. The character in the dream cannot think by itself, because the character in the dream is a thought itself, and every thought that the character in the dream seems to have does not come from the character in the dream, it comes from the mind that is dreaming the whole dream. You follow? So, in this world of appearances, we are a projection from that, whatever you want to call it. Therefore, we cannot think our own thoughts. Thoughts appear in us and they come from that which supposedly is projecting all of this. So this idea of mind over matter is not personal. It's not that I can change my thoughts so that the world can change. It's that if that which is dreaming me chooses to change its thoughts, it also has the capacity to change the appearance. But that is something that happens, not something that I make happen. And that is the trap. That is the little trick, that we think that we're in charge. If you are in charge, you should be able to live the life that you claim you want to be. And yet, usually that's not the case. And even when people who suggest I am living my dream, in reality, if they're willing to look and do an investigation, they have to find out that the drive that lives them and the inspiration that gets a hold of them to do what they do is not personal. That's why in the video that We Have Freewill, which I suggest you watch, the link is in the description, I hone on that so you can see that every decision, every action, it's a happening. It's not something that we make happen, because we never know what is the next thought we're going to have. In order for me to change my mind and change my thoughts in order to control the universe, I have to know what thoughts I'm going to choose. And yet, as you might have already found out, and if you haven't, it's good to do the investigation, notice that thoughts appear. They appear and they disappear. I see when they use celebrities or people who have accomplished great things and they say they have a work ethic and their drive. But see, the drive is not personal. The drive is something that it's just part of their play. It's part of their life journey. And other people who are in the same field cannot have that drive. You see? So technically speaking, all you're watching is live unfolding. Some may seem to have a big drive than others. Some seems to have inspiration to do certain things and others to do others. And you can put it to the test. If you, for example, don't like math or not good at math, and somebody tells you, I can motivate you and I can train you so you can be a great mathematician, you will not be able to follow through. Forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. And if it's not something you're meant to do, it doesn't matter how much you try, it's going to be really hard anyway, because it's not your thing. But it's not the thing that you chose. It's not that you chose that thing. It's that it's not your thing. You were not born to do that. See? So life is unfolding, and this idea of mind over matter makes no sense whatsoever. If anything, it's thought over thought. But again, the thought doesn't come from me, it comes from the source. And these videos are pointing to the fact that you are the source. You follow? Not this individual who claimed to have autonomy. You are the source in which this seeming individual, which is a thought in consciousness, in all that there is, appears in. And you are that. And that's why the simplicity of this is that all you need to do is absolutely nothing, because even doing happens through you. But if you want to use the word doing for the sake of language, the doing would be to know the fact that I am, and you are being right now. And every thought that comes in your way, but how am I going to function in life? You are functioning in life. That's the point. You are not the one choosing to function in life. You are already functioning by default, by that which supposedly is functioning everything. You see? So once again, if you have any doubt in regards to this idea of free will, watch the video, Do We Have Free Will? Because that is very clearly explained. I don't have to go through all of that in this video, which is very simple anyway. But right now you simply are. What is the next thought you're going to have? Well, if you don't know what is the next thought you're going to have, how do you know what is the next action you're going to take? You see? And this is so overlooked. And all we're doing here is pointing to something that is greater than that, than the ideas and the thoughts and the actions and this you who think you are. What you are is pure presence, your ever-present, all-knowing, non-conceptual beingness. You are being right now. Let's put it to the test. Right now, if you don't believe any thoughts, as if you can make that choice, but it appears as if though that which projects all of this in display is projecting a me that is saying something and a you that is listening. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that, as I've heard somebody says, act as if you have the choice when you know that you don't. I see how many people say, thy will is done, God's will is done, and at the same time they come up with their little request. Well, make up your mind, because in the end, only the will of that is done. And yet, this is paradoxical, because those requests, where do they come from? Well, from the same source, so it doesn't matter. So here, let's put it to the test. Right now. Right now, just don't identify with any thoughts. Let them be there. They will be there, and that's fine. Just don't believe any of them. Just thoughts appearing, like right now. If you look around, you see appearances and disappearances. And if you're driving, you see cars passing by, and they come and they go. And feeling sensations, if you happen to be feeling some, notice how they come, they go. Everything comes and goes. But what remains? Well, that which remains is the capacity of awareness, which is what you are, which is beingness. So anyway, if there's no identification with any thoughts, what remains? See, that's the silence this is pointing to, which is not the absence of noise, it's not the absence of perception, it's simply the beingness in which all perception and noise or sounds or thoughts and ideas and everything seems to appear in. And you are that. And when resting in this, you're resting in that, meaning you're resting in yourself. Okay, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.